important to clearly outline the purpose of this public lecture. The objectives are therefore stated as follows. To clarify the mandate and the strategic role of the Public Service Commission within Zimbabwe's governance architecture. To examine the transformative role of technology and entrepreneurship in reshaping public service delivery. To unpack key theoretical frameworks that drive innovation within government institutions. To showcase practical strategies and case studies, both local and international, that illustrate successful public sector innovation. To strengthen collaboration between higher education institutions and the Public Service Commission through skills alignment, innovation hubs, and structured internship programs. To inspire the participants to see for themselves not merely as job seekers, but as catalysts for public value and agents of transformation. And lastly, to see how we can view the world that you go into once you graduate in a practical and in a realistic manner. It is both an honor and a privilege to stand before you today to deliver a lecture on a topic that is not only timely but essential to the future of our country's governance and development trajectory. The topic reads, Leveraging Technology and Entrepreneurial Skills for Enhanced Public Service Delivery, the Public Sector Perspective. This topic is deeply intertwined with our shared aspirations for the future. You, the students before us today, embody the next generation of Zimbabwe's public servants, policymakers, innovators, and entrepreneurs. The decision you take, the knowledge you embrace, and the competence you refine will be instrumental in shaping the destiny of our nation. As we pursue Vision 30, the transformation of Zimbabwe into an upper middle income economy, it is imperative that we reimagine public service delivery into a more agile, intelligent, and inclusive, ensuring that no one is left behind. The future of the public service is undeniably digital. As technological advancements continue to reshape every sector, our public institutions must evolve to become more responsive, data-driven, and digitally empowered. At the same time, the future of the workplace is entrepreneurial, defined by creativity, innovation, adaptability, and a willingness to disrupt outdated models. And I want to emphasize on outdated models, because technology is taking over. It has already taken over. National development will increasingly depend on the fusion of these two forces, a tech-enabled public service that embraces entrepreneurial thinking to solve complex challenges, deliver better services, and create sustainable value for all citizens. It is at this intersection that transformation leadership will emerge capable of driving Zimbabwe forward into a resilient and prosperous future. Even at a leadership level, I see technology. Because as a leader, you must then be able to guide your institution or your company in a direction of technology, because that is where the world is at. That is where the world is going. The topic aligns well with the university's mission, as it offers a platform to examine both the constructive and destructive potential of technology. And service delivery is the most suitable metric by which any administration, public or private, is judged. Whether it is processing national identity documents, delivering quality education, providing health care, administering social assistance, or managing public infrastructure, citizens demand and deserve services that are fast, fair, and efficient. And on that note, I'm sure a lot of you have seen in the media or have actually experienced some of the developments that are already taking place, like telemedicine. whereby you will be able to communicate na Dr. Olukumusha, vachikubvunza symptoms, and is able to guide the nurse anenge clinic. It has already started. I'm sure some of you have been even in Kushituba, whereby the process is now faster. You can now apply for your, soon you'll be applying for your passports online. So we are moving, and I'm sure you have seen last year and this year the president led a delegation to Dubai, where we are looking at the future of governance, digital, economy. That's where we are going as a government. And when during one of those visits, one thing that was highlighted when the president came back, it was the issue of smart policy, whereby in other developed economies, you don't need mapurisa parole. There are cameras, so as you are studying, as you are lecturing, as you are working wherever, you need to begin to ask yourself, how do I fit myself into this direction when the world is becoming fully digital? The conventional methods of delivering public services are no longer sufficient. Hence, they are faced with increased scrutiny from the citizens, who have been exposed, experienced, and have grown accustomed to agility and responsiveness of the private sector platforms such as online banking, e-commerce, and mobile communication. They now expect the same from government. A very good example of a dying industry, my newspaper. How many people buy newspapers these days? Everyone is actually accessing my newspaper news on your phone and on the dot. Kwatone ma community reporters varikuti kana mbavha ikabatwa vanoposta, pakaita accident vanoposta, because of the issues that we are now moving towards, issues of digitalization. So we need to be able to adjust. My newsrooms must be able to adjust to that future that we are now, that is now facing us. This shift in citizen expectations is not a challenge, but it is an opportunity. An opportunity we cannot afford to let slip past us, as this digital and innovative era has awarded us technological tools and entrepreneurial mindsets. The question becomes, how can we institutionalize both within the public sector? The first part of this lecture will explore the various ways in which technology and entrepreneurial skills can be leveraged to enhance public service delivery. We will highlight the key facets of effective service delivery and examine how these tools can drive innovation, efficiency, citizen satisfaction across all levels of government. Through the lens of public sector, we will assess how technology can improve the quality, speed, and accessibility of service. We will also discuss real-life scenarios that you will face when you leave the university. I invite you to engage attentively with this timely, transformative topic, one that directly impacts our communities. After the presentation, I welcome your questions and reflections as we sharpen our understanding together for a better, smarter public service. To truly understand the value of knowledge you gain here at the university, consider the powerful proverb by Leo Tzu, where he said, "Give a man fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime." This is why you are here. The university is feeding you for a lifetime to prepare you for the real world that you'll be facing. This statement speaks directly to the purpose of today's lecture, equipping you not just with information, but with mindset and skills to create lasting impact. As future professionals, you are not just preparing for employment, you are preparing to be problem solvers, innovators, nation builders, and entrepreneurs. The public sector is seeking individuals who can think entrepreneurial, apply digital tools creatively, and drive real transformation. Your education is the foundation, but how you use it will define your contribution. Let's now go to understanding the Public Commission's role. What is our role as the Public Service Commission? The Public Service Commission is not just a human resource body. It is the engine of the public sector capability. It determines who gets recruited, how they are trained, what competencies they require, and how performance is measured. I'm sure in the last 2-3 years, you've seen that the President has introduced performance management performance within the public sector, where from the ministers, the permanent secretaries, the directors in government, and even us as commissioners for the first time this year, your performance is being measured. As we embed technology and entrepreneurial skills into the DNA of public administration, the PSC must act as an orchestrator with the duty of aligning people, processes, policies, and platforms. In this regard, the Commission is pursuing reforms including digitalization of e-recruitment processes. What this means is, even now, Mukaenda, our website, a public service commission, you'll be able to see my jobs that are available within the public sector. And you are taking it further to a point whereby you submit all applications online, you are actually shortlisted online. This by mid-year will be the presence of the Public Service Commission. The application letters is becoming less and less, because we are even saying, how do we include those that are in the rural areas? Because the President said that we leave no one and no place behind. But we are saying all those places, technology must take precedence, and we accommodate them within that platform that we have established. Integration of psychometric tests and competence-based assessments. We were actually trained as the Public Service Commission by the African Union. They sent people back to train as my commissioners in the Public Service Commission, and we actually have our staff that has been certified, which is now training my ministries, my departments, and agents of government. NEMA skills and competence-based interviewing. Such this is one of the areas that you need to prepare yourselves as my students that will soon be in the job market. Competence-based interviewing. What is it? Prepare yourself for it. Because as you come to public service, that is how we interview you. We are moving away from the traditional methods. Zema interviews the tight. And commissioners, you even go through what we call a psychometric test. And that psychometric test is part of the shortlisting for public service. We are also expanding internship opportunities. I think this is something that used to happen in the past, but private sector, and I think us as government, we had kind of slowed down on that aspect. But there's great demand that we're seeing that is coming from students from universities and institutions of higher learning, such that it is a big drive for us to make sure that students do not only graduate with a certificate, but they have practical experience in the areas that they've qualified for. We're engaging academic institutions for curriculum review and skills mapping, building strategic partnership with innovation hubs and the private sector. The Public Service Commission gets its money from the Constitution. So those of you that have access online or physical copies of the Constitution, if you go to section 202 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe that was amended in 2023, you will find the full mandate of the public service. But let me just summarize and say that we are entrusted with the critical responsibility of overseeing the development and management of human capital within the public service. The public service is a constitutional body operating as an arm of the executive as established in the Constitution of Zimbabwe. In line with the Section 203, the Public Service Commission is mandated to recruit, manage human resources for both entry-level and promotional posts across government ministries. This talent acquisition process includes attracting, selecting, and appointing suitable candidates to fill vacancies on either a temporary or a permanent basis. Additionally, in Section 199.1 of the Constitution, it empowers the public service to oversee the organization, structure, regulation, management, discipline, and conditions of service for all members of the public service. What are we saying? We advertise, we interview, we shortlist, we appoint, we promote, approve transfers as the Public Service Commission. We also do skills development where we have looked at the code, where we've done skills mapping, and we feel that these members of staff, they need further training, they need further capacity development. We've got institutions in the public service where we came with one of our general managers, where members of the public service go for further training while they are in government. It is also our responsibility to set conditions of service for members of the public service in consultation with the Ministry of Finance. We also have what is called the tripartite, which is a framework that was established to make sure that government projects and programs and policies are efficiently and effectively implemented. The Public Service Commission, in collaboration with the Office of the President and Cabinet, the OPC, and the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development and Investment Promotion, form the apex government structure known as the tripartite. Each institution plays a distinct but interconnected role. For example, the Office of the President and Cabinet is responsible for formulating policies that govern the public service. It provides mandates for all 26 government ministries, departments, and agencies, and any other ministry that would have been set up with the advice of the President. The Ministry of Finance, Economic Development, Investment Promotion, this ministry manages the national budget and funds government projects. Its central role places it at the apex of government operations. Therefore, the relationship between the three is intertwined, with PSC providing human resources, the Ministry of Finance provides funds, and the OPC formulates policies that govern and guide the public sector. What is our vision as the public service? We want an empowered public service leading and propelling sustainable and inclusive socio-economic growth and prosperity for all citizens. What are our core values? We want, as we are guided by His Excellency the President, to make sure that every time there's servant leadership within the public service, head office, district office, provincial office, and at any time that you interact with a member of the public service, you must experience the tenets of servant leadership. Inclusiveness, we now have created posts for the directors of wellness, inclusive, and what else, Mrs. Katan? And gender mainstreaming, where we are looking at the wellness of our employees within the public sector. We are looking at gender balance in the positions that we have within the public sector. Accountability, innovation, professionalism, high ethics, entrepreneurship as we execute our duty, and high performance. The topic is leveraging technology and entrepreneurial skills for enhanced public service delivery, the public sector perspective. The following key questions are critical in aligning our thinking with the imperatives of our developmental imperatives in the nation, as well as in appreciating the core issues we've gathered to ventilate today. What is enhanced service delivery? And how do entrepreneurial skills support it? How can technology transform service delivery in the public sector? What role should universities play in preparing graduates for effective public service? Public service engagement. Well, this is a public lecture and not a formal academic paper. It is important to acknowledge that the strength of such an engagement lies in a rigid adherence of citation protocol for academic formatting, but in the ability to ventilate critical ideas with clarity, relevance, and transformative intent. Public lectures offer a unique platform to provoke thought, stimulate discourse, offer a unique and share knowledge that drives positive change and promotes best practice. That said, our reflections must still be anchored in sound theoretical frameworks. In this regard, Schumpeter's innovation theory reminds us that meaningful development is driven by creative destruction, the continuous renewal of systems, services, and ideas. Everett Rogers' diffusion and innovation theory helps us to understand how new ideas and technologies are adopted within societies and institutions, pointing to the need for enablers and champions within the public service. Further, the public value theory compels us to ask how innovations serve the public good, improve outcomes, and strengthen legitimacy. As we explore the future of public service, where digital transformation and entrepreneurial thinking covered, these theories provide a valuable lens through which we can interpret our current moment and shape the pathways to Vision 30. Of course, we have to show Takamfuro, so my theories are easy. Those are people to display my graduates are easy. To know for a quote, just cite a so I mean, to play song with at the heart of Chinhoyi University of Technology, Pedagogy and Curriculum is a commitment to applied learning, innovation and problem solving, an approach that resonates strongly with Schumpeter's innovation theory. The university's emphasis on research, industrial attachment and entrepreneurship reflects the notion of creative destruction, encouraging students to question the convention and design solutions that respond to evolving societal needs. Similarly, diffusion of such innovative thinking into broader society aligns with Everett Rogers' diffusion of innovations theory. The Chinhoyi University of Technology acts as a critical node in this process, producing graduates who serve as change agents capable of accelerating the uptake of new ideas and technologies in both private and public sectors. For the public service to effectively absorb and utilize its human capital, it must reconfigure its structure, culture, and agency. Structurally, it requires agile systems and digital platforms that enable responsiveness. Culturally, it must embrace continuous learning, openness to innovation, and results-oriented mindset. From the perspective of agency, public institutions must empower employees at all levels to create value with citizens in line with the public value theory. Only then can we ensure that public service delivery is not just efficient, but also meaningful and inclusive, driving national transformation step with Vision 2030. There is what we call the empty chair at the Public Service Commission. The empty chair represents the citizens of this country, such that every time when you're doing something, whether it's in HR, whether it's in Varikunobu province, you must ask yourself, am I making a positive impact to the citizens of this country? Am I responding to the needs of the citizens of this country? So every time in the back of our minds, we have that empty chair to say we are here to serve the citizens of this country in an effective and efficient way. How do we improve efficiency and streamline processes at the public service? One of technology's most impactful contributions to the public service delivery is its ability to streamline operations by automating routines, tasks, reducing paper use, and limiting manual interventions. Technology significantly boosts efficiency. One of the things that we do when we are interviewing as commissioners, anyone from deputy directors, chief directors, we no longer have face-to-face interviews. Everything is done online through Zoom. So we are able to interview even people that are in China, but who US, anywhere in the world where there is internet, and even in this country, Munaruku does not have to drive to Harare to come for an interview, because now everything is actually done online through Zoom. For instance, automating civil registry processes minimizes paperwork and expedites service delivery, enhancing accessibility and convenience to citizens, enabling data-driven decision-making for better outcomes, facilitating personalized and responsive citizen engagement. Digital citizen engagement platforms have created direct, interactive communication channels between government institutions and the public, promoting transparency, trust, and collaboration. These innovations underscore the transformative power of technology in public administration. In this context, universities must equip students with skills and mindsets to design practical, tech-driven solutions that directly enhance public service delivery. We have seen that sometimes even during a disciplinary issue, people bring evidence, recorded audios, recorded videos to say this is what actually transpired in this school or in this institution. Now people are taking advantage of technology to bring alive the situations that they face. Technology is a double-edged sword. Let us explore the potential destructive ways in which technology can pose as a threat. Overcoming digital literacy barriers among citizens and servants. Limited digital skills and low confidence in using technology remain one of the major barriers for many citizens, preventing them from fully accessing and benefiting from online government services. This digital literacy gap excludes a significant portion of the population from engaging with government platforms meant to improve service delivery. I was quite excited. One of the local banks is introduced, I think it's Stewart Bank. Yeah, you can go to an ATM and deposit money at the ATM. So ATMs are no longer just for taking out money, but you can now actually, you don't have to go and queue in a bank. You actually go by ATM and you deposit. These are things that we see from South Africa, in the UK, in America, where the bank, where face-to-face interaction within the banks is almost dwindled. Because out of the freedom bank, you know, you draw by ATM, you know, everything that you need to do by ATM. So it means we are moving with the times. Even the private sector has realized the importance of technology. We need to address infrastructure limitations and the digital divide. One of the core challenges in Zimbabwe's rural areas is the lack of reliable electricity and broad internet coverage, which significantly hinders the rollout of digital public services. This infrastructure gap widens the digital divide, limiting the reach and effectiveness of technology-driven initiatives. It is imperative that students become active problem solvers, developing innovative solutions to bridge this divide and ensure inclusive access to public service for all citizens. If you go to other countries, internet is anyway. Town, UK, China, you access internet anyway, it's free. And it is possible because you can trade fair, like those of you that went to trade fair. If internet within the trade fair grounds was free, it was available for all internet. So it means it is something that we can do. But this is where you, as the current and future generation, come in and say, what can you contribute to make this a reality for those of us Barikumusha Basina access? Managing data privacy and security concerns in the digital realm. In delivering public service, government manages vast amounts of sensitive citizen data from personal identification, financial details, and health records. Safeguarding this information is not just important, it is essential to maintain public trust. Therefore, universities must play a critical role in equipping students with skills and innovative mindsets needed to develop secure, effective data management solutions for the public sector. One area that really concerns me is the issue of accidents. Instead of helping Munari Aita accident, they are busy taking videos because they want to be the first one to post accident. Yes, it is good to use digital gadgets that we have, but I think we are losing the humanity in us. We are digital information. Areas of convergence to ensure that our graduates are not only academically accomplished but also industry ready Commission and universities such as the University of Chinhoyi and University of Technology must be intentional, strategic, and anchored in clearly defined areas. Meaningful collaboration begins with aligning academic programs to national development priorities. As students, you must be well versed with NDS 1, which is coming to an end this year, NDS 2, which will kick in next year, because it is relevant in your jobs that you'll be looking for when you go to the job market. As the custodian of the human capital across government, the Public Service Commission is uniquely positioned to offer insight into emerging competence gaps within the public sector. When this intelligence is effectively shared with universities, it enables curriculum designers to integrate practical modules in areas such as public administration, policy implementation, ethics, and digital governance. Ultimately, we must shift from theoretical alignment to competence-based curricula that mirrors the skills matrix demanded by today's dynamic and evolving public sector and the economy at large. We should also embrace joint research, innovation hubs, policy hubs. I'm sure we've seen quite a lot of innovations that have come from schools, institutions of higher learning, by universities, especially during COVID, where we tried and tested This is what we're expecting in terms of joint collaboration in research and innovation hubs and policy hubs. Structured graduate internships and work-integrated learning. The transition from classroom to career is often one of the most delicate phases in a graduate's journey. To ease this shift, the Public Service Commission can play a pivotal role in establishing structured internship and attachment programs within government institutions. These programs will serve as a real-world environment, offering students first-hand exposure to the public service system's culture and expectations. Beyond skills development, such initiatives function as early talent identification platforms, strengthening recruitment into technical and leadership roles across the public sector. Now I want to come to what I said, practical aspects of life. There's the graph on the number of civil servants. You can put that one on. This one. Zimbabwe produces approximately 30,000 graduates every year. And so my civil servants currently, I'm talking those that are officially civil servants, those that are departments and agencies of government, we are approximately 514,000. Our population is 16 million. The United Kingdom has 548,000 civil servants, graduates per year 514,000 out of a population of 68 million. South Africa, our neighbors here, number of civil servants is 1.3 million, and graduates, I think this is a typo, I think it's about another 500 and something per year, and out of a population of 63 million. India has civil servants that are 3.1 million, and they have 10 million graduates a year, out of a population of 1.4 billion. China has 6.9 million civil servants, has 10 million, approximately 10 million graduates every year, and out of a population of 1.4 billion. The US civil servants are 766,000, and graduates per year are 54,000, and a population of 66. Kenya, civil servants 923,000, and graduates per year is 50,000, and a population of 56 million. Why am I giving you these figures? We are coming as the Public Service Commission to give this lecture, but we need to make sure that when you graduate, you understand the market that you are going into. Because it's not government government cannot employ the graduates that you are producing on an annual basis. government has a limited space in terms of employment of its population. And this, I've taken this country to show that this issue is not only unique to Zimbabwe, it's a global reality and it's a global fact. So where do you go upon graduation? For instance, if you look at Zimbabwe, the total, this is according to a Zimbabwe report which was done in 2024, they are saying, if you look at people that are 15 years and above, who constitute the labor force of this country, we have 7 million as at 2024. And some of you are coming into that market at the end of the year, or in 2 years' time, or in 3 years' time. And these people are, they're economically active. They are either self-employed, they are working informally or informally, they are skilled, some are unskilled, some are communal farmers, and they account for 58% of the population. Saka, when you are looking at university graduates. The next slide, you can put the next slide, that skills are the currency of labor. Babaka, skills are the currency of labor. What skills do you possess? And you are saying to yourself, are my skills relevant in a world that is going digital? There is the issue of artificial intelligence. This one was done by the World Economic Forum. What are they showing us? Skills that will be in demand by 2030. And they are saying AI and information processing technologies, big data, and there will be demand for those skills almost 85% globally. Because a lot of the private sector and governments are going digital. Isusu office for president office, kune department not only government, which is really looking at digitalizing government processes. So the questions that you need to ask yourselves as graduates, or even as civil servants, am I going to still remain relevant by 2030? What is it that I need to do to make sure that I fit into the future? Yes, you can qualify today to degree agriculture, and agriculture, when you look at it, it is actually one of it has the highest percentage of employment in Zimbabwe and globally. But are we all going to be farmers? You need to begin to look at how can you fit yourselves in the value chain of agriculture. For example, Zimbabwe is a net importer of fertilizers and chemicals. So as graduates, you begin to ask yourselves to say, can I not, graduate, set up a business that is into fertilizer blending and feed my community, the fertilizer union? Because if I'm going to look at employment in government, there are 30,000 graduates that are coming out every year. So what are my chances as a graduate? The next slide talks about the fastest growing and the fastest declining jobs by 2030. And the fastest growing, most of them are based on technology. The ones that are declining, most of them are our traditional jobs. But postal service clerks, I'm sure it's about right? So if it is an area that you are studying, you then need to begin to ask yourself, I'm going to graduate, can I kind of post office, even my gets so these are the fastest growing jobs. So you need to make sure that you are a strategic fit of the future. My next one is skills that are on the rise. And I can tell you most of them are AI, big data, technology, networks, cyber security, and so forth. Like marketing. But if you look at marketing today, I did a diploma Institute of Marketing Management. I MBA. Marketing is always digital. You actually don't need money. You find it well, I'll take You get anything from construction, from medicine, from hemp, everything is digital. Some of the projects don't even need a lot of money. A few years ago, I used to do a program at TV, a Christian program. I invite a pastor, a lady, she was HIV positive, I Street. So this church in Pana Second Street, na Churchill, Vayatanga Kutrela, Pastor Chuat, Roma Streets, but Chivatora on how to run a business. Because we don't have enough capital. So he gave this woman $1. That's a few years ago. $1 I take a package that woman went and sold in one day. I can take $3. 3 of those, but 20 and 20. Can I take a church papa? When was right? Come to your Kansas, $6. White profit yaga, Maria Kujrani, Iwe, Mangwana would talk, will take us with you, but with the capital, the profit will only white. When we interviewed her in 3 weeks, Anga Tenga to $75. And at that point, from $1 to $75 in 3 weeks. And if I found out today, I could take all my lotion and a higher margin, this one. So don't be starting a bufunga, I need $1 million, I need 100,000 to start a business. The skill and the gift that you have is actually good enough for you to start a business. If you Mukaenda Bible, Chaimoma Moses, what do you have in your hand? I've got a rod. That is what he used for parting the sea. Mudzimai ari Bible akanzi naJesu une chikumba kwako akati andina dzine mafuta chete akanzi naMwari kuna naJesu unza asi papo from that one bottle ranga inaro reoil ranga rasara mumamake started an oil business. So don't look yourself, don't musatarisira pasi muchiti nekuti I come from a disadvantaged background. And in that future, you have a future if you change your mindset. You can never succeed, my graduates, my students and women, beyond your habits, systems, and routines. What you continuously do is who you become. What you continuously feed your mind with is what you become. My habits are every day. And whatever steals your time steals your destination. Facebook, 5 hours a day per Facebook. Would you go comment? My love hearts. 5 hours. My kiss one. By Instagram, my challenges. Would you participate in my challenges? Instagram. That thing that you are spending your time on is still in your destination. Because if you were to dedicate 5 hours a day on something to improve your skill, you'll find that your skill set improves, your mindset improves. Make it a habit to give yourself 30 minutes a day to read a book that improves your knowledge on something, not necessarily in an area that you are studying, not necessarily in the HR department that you are, but a book, my motivation books, my books are about life, just 30 minutes a day. You find that if you form that habit in 30 days, you'll be a totally different person. If you make it a habit, I start looking at opportunities in Zimbabwe, you'll be a totally different kind of a graduate when you come out of school. And you don't have to wait until you graduate for you to start a business. You can start that business for a university student. Kutengesa pansika is not poverty, it's a business. Because my tomatoes, why are produced by farmers and they go to the market because there is a demand for my tomatoes, daily demand here, daily demand in cabbage. So it is mukaenda kubora jopane mkomana atone mabhazi wemashanje. I'm sure makambomona achikuda pa social media. I was one of the first people vanonda parodi. I post machine. I swipe up mashanje. Panapa boroto primary school. achitengesa mazhanje $5 atinotenga kwamurewa dollar bucket raakutaundi unenge ra$5 asi mukomana amanager kutenga matrucks iye zvinezvo ane bhazi rinoenda kuDurban akutoemploya vanhu vanoya everyday pasame place mazano akutengesa nzungu nechibagi iye akumhanya nebhazi rokuenda kuDurban. And he started from those small things, so faithful in small things. In conclusion, in technology offers unparalleled opportunities for government to enhance efficiency, accessibility, transparency, and responsiveness to public service delivery. However, realizing this potential requires a strategic, user-centered, and inclusive approach that effectively addresses the challenges of technological integration and the development of entrepreneurial skills. By responsibly embracing emerging technologies, creating robust policy frameworks, and adopting evidence-based practices, the government can foster a digital future that not only meets the evolving needs of its citizens, but also strengthens the foundation of higher and tertiary education institutions in Zimbabwe. One example that government has moved in digitalization is registrar general the moment you turn 18, you are automatically registered as a voter. So we are moving, and I think by the end of the year, it's not in my place to announce some of the initiatives that government is doing. You will see that we are moving at a very fast pace in terms of embracing technology in service delivery. Thank you, and God bless you.